If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Hello, House on the Road subscribers and followers. Well, with Hurricane Florence coming through, I wanted to talk about RV living, especially as primitive as Carolyn and I live. We live only in free campsites. We never pull into hookups. If an RVer has a unique skill set to be able to, I'm not say survive a hurricane, but to be able to deal with it better. And the reason I bring this up is my dad lives down in Florida, and last year Hurricane Irma came through, and he was running an RV park down there. And so he had to stay almost until the last minute to try to get everybody out of the campground and make sure the campground was secure. So what he did last year was he just tried to move 100 miles north, just try to withstand it a little bit. But that, I mean, you're really trying to start to put in your primitive skills. And so some of those primitive skills is what I want to talk about. Can a RV handle the initial impact? And I'm going to say no, obviously at 130 mile an hour wind, you're not going to be able to survive it. So you need to get where the wind is going to diminish down to the 80 miles an hour range, 70 mile an hour range. And see, like with this truck, what I would do is I would try to continuously point the truck nose into the wind, because I know the truck can handle 70, 80 mile an hour winds based on its design. Of course, you're going to want to try to stay away from trees, but also you're going to want to surround yourself with trees. In the pop-up camper, I had a storm that came through in Virginia, and with 60 mile an hour winds. Now, there was no trees over us, but there was a lot of trees around us, which really knocked down the wind speed, probably down to, I would say, 30 or 40 miles an hour. It was very manageable. But once it's all said and done, and you have no power and no water, this is when I think an RV skill sets really come into play, and to prepare yourself for emergencies. So the most important thing you're going to want to deal with, have, is water. Water you're going to absolutely need. You can only survive just a couple days without water. Of course, you go to the grocery store, all the bottled water is going to be sold out days before the hurricane hit. Now you're relying on officials and agencies to come out and supply you with water. Well, a better solution is to buy a filtration system or build a filtration system. So what we do, and we pump water right out of ponds and streams, and we pre-filter it using our little pre-filter that I bought from Walmart. This thing's just a little carbon filter. Buy it for $30. Buy 2 filters, carbon filters, for $8. And this thing lasts about 3 months, and it makes water look really clean, and that's a big deal. If you can clean up the water quite a bit, then you can put it into a water purification system, and they sell a lot of water purification systems now. Ours happens to be the Berkey water filter. We absolutely love it. It filters out tons and tons and tons of different contaminants, heavy metals. You're going to want to pre-filter your water, and then you're going to want to put that water into your Berkey, so you got drinking water. You're going to have all the drinking water you want. You're going to need about a gallon a day. Now, like I said, you can take this water out of anywhere. This rainwater, buckets that collected water. Now, just be careful that you don't actually filter salt water. The Berkey is not going to filter out salt water. Actually, you'll just damage the filters. So the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you got plenty of food. Now, I'm big on making sure that we have a refrigeration system. And I'm going to talk about refrigeration and how we run a refrigerator, but we're going to have bacon and meats and sausages, and we can, in our camper, carry about 2 weeks of frozen food in our refrigerator. Now, we can also store canned food, and we can store a ton of canned food, tuna, and those kind of canned foods. You're going to want to make sure you got about 3 weeks worth of food just to overcome the initial impact. Also, as the roads start to clear, you're going to be able to migrate a little bit to get out of the damage area. Electricity. First, I'm going to describe my system, and then we're going to talk about solar just briefly. The way we run our electricity is we have a generator. So we're going to need about 3 weeks worth of gas. In order to have 3 weeks worth of gas, I need 15 gallons of gas. That is very doable. We currently have 2 weeks worth of gas, which is 10 gallons of gas. Our generator is a Champion inverter generator. It can run about 9 hours on a gallon of gas. So you're going to want something that's really efficient. What that generator is going to do is it's going to provide AC power. So what you're going to do is now you're going to run your generator into a battery charger. Battery charger is going to charge batteries, RV marine batteries. Those RV marine batteries are now going to power what is called an inverter. You can buy these inverters very cheaply at Walmart, 750 watt inverter. that's going to convert your battery, your DC battery, 12-volt DC battery, into AC electric. This is going to run your refrigerator. Our refrigerator is just a standard miniature fridge, house fridge, runs 110 volts. It's just a standard house fridge, and it freezes our food. Oh, now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to charge your batteries about twice a day. And what I do is I run my generator 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening, charging the battery. Now, the key to this is while you're charging the battery, you're going to want to unplug the refrigerator from the inverter and plug it into the generator. That way, you're not drawing energy from the batteries while you're charging them. It just charges more efficiently if you're not drawing energy from it. So now the generator is only powering two things while you're running the generator. It's powering the battery charger and it's powering the refrigerator. Here's the big deal. If you need to survive longer than 3 weeks, your generator is not going to have enough gas. You can't store enough gas. What you're going to have to do is possibly get some solar panels. Now, solar panels are going to work a little differently. Solar panels you do not need a battery charger if you have solar panels. Solar panels are going to be 12 volts. If you have a 12-volt system, you're going to be charging the batteries straight from the solar panels. So your solar panels collect energy from the sun. That energy is put through what's called a charge controller, which is not a big deal. A charge controller only means that it's not going to overcharge the batteries, and then it goes straight into your batteries, and now it's powering the batteries. The problem with solar panels is when it's cloudy, and recognize you just went through a hurricane, so it's going to be cloudy for a few days, it's not going to give you all the power you need to run that refrigerator for 3 weeks straight. Remember, you got nighttime also. Nighttime, you're not charging batteries. That means you're just pulling energy from the batteries. So you got to recharge them when the sun comes back up. Well, you're not going to be able to keep up. So every now and then, you're going to have to run that generator to help the solar panels charge the batteries with the battery charger, of course. That might get you out to 6 or 8 weeks of energy running that refrigerator. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.